Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's 007. Today we're going to talk about how to make pemmican. So with that, here's Moneypenny, because you know I'm not making pemmican. Moneypenny, what do we got?
Well, we have a 3-pound eye-round roast. It's pretty lean. And I actually we tried to get bison, and yeah, we just don't have the specialty shops here close by. When we researched making the pemmican, it was more about don't use any ground beef like bison or something, and that's the only one I could have gotten here. So we tried this before in the oven. It is lean. You're gonna trim the rest of the fat off, and then what I did was it went into, you feel it's a little frozen. It's been in the freezer for a couple hours to make it more stiff, so you can actually slice it real thin. So we'll see how that goes. And then, so I'm gonna try to slice it as thin as I can. It'll go into the food dehydrator. Last time we did it in the oven, it took 4 hours, and you have to leave it open. So this is gonna be our first try to do it in the dehydrator. It's gonna be real thin, it's not seasoned, and it's gonna be laid out and go in there for a couple hours.
Yep. So all the research we did said, you know, use a real lean meat. Bison, venison are also good meats to use. We just have trouble finding that, and we did, like she said, we found it in bison in the ground, like a ground meat, but somebody we followed did the ground meat and they didn't like it as much, so we're gonna stick with what we know. So we're gonna slice this up and then we'll put it into, what's this called?
It's a food dehydrator.
Food dehydrator. All right, so once Moneypenny had all the eye round trimmed up into these real thin pieces, slices, now she's putting them on these trays. See there. And then these will go into the dehydrator right here. And right now it's set for how long?
It's set for 10 hours. This is the first time we're working with a dehydrator, and I'm not sure how it's going to compare. All I know is the meat is going to have to be dry and not pliable, so it's not going to be the jerky consistency. It has to be dry, or else you can't.
Drier than jerky?
Yes, because otherwise you can't, once we put it in a food processor to grind it, you know, you won't be able to do anything. So I'm trying to spread it out a little bit. We don't know the time yet for sure, but it's setting for 10 hours on 155. And anyhow, that's just for this model and type, and we'll see how that goes. We might have to adjust.
And there's, can I open this?
Yeah.
You can see, you can get a lot of trays in here. So that's just one tray right there.
Okay, so
and then we'll see what it looks like when we come out. Okay, so 8.5 hours. It was on 165?
It was on 165.
For 8.5 hours.
Yes, and I already took some out, but
yeah, some have already come out. But there we go. And what are you looking for then with these?
So when you look at them, you want them to snap.
Okay.
It's not like jerky where it bends. You want them to snap. If not, they're going to be too stringy, because it's all going to go in a food processor to grind up.
All
so
right.
You want it to snap
next step,
and not bend.
Food processor.
Yes.
All right. So now we're taking all the dried beef.
This was 3 pounds.
3 pounds.
And we'll weigh it after it's pulverized. Not much to fill in there. No, let's keep that down.
There. shaken, not stirred, please. All right, so we've got the meat dried and ground up in the Ninja. And now what we're doing is we're putting that meat into the bowl that was zeroed out. So we're at 13.69 ounces. We're trying to get to 16 ounces.
Yeah, so this was the second batch of meat we made.
Yeah, we did. This is actually 6 pounds.
Yeah.
Of the...
Almost 6, yeah.
Yeah. So we're putting that in. Oop, you're
a little too much.
I think you're all right though. Because you got the extra tallow.
Well, let me go at least close because it's gonna miss on this end.
Yep. So also in here is about a pint of dried blueberries, just for some flavor. I don't know that I can't taste blueberry in it, but we had blueberry in the last one, so we're doing that in this one as well.
Okay, so that's 6.3.
Okay, so that's about just over 16 ounces. I think that's good because so the tallow is this beef tallow. You should, here you go. You can only use tallow or suet for this. We've seen some people try using bacon grease and some other things didn't work. Go ahead.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna well, first we're gonna add so when we did it before, we had about half of the amount of beefs, and we did with 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. So now we're gonna add 2. So mixing all the dry ingredients together first.
Yep.
And then we're mixing this all up, and we gotta melt the tallow. And I think I'm gonna just melt it in that jar because we're gonna add the whole 11 ounces.
So we're just gonna nuke that thing.
Yes, ma'am.
In the microwave.
Yep.
So the tallow gets microwaved till it's more of a liquid, and we pour it in here, and we'll get back to you in a sec. All right, so the tallow was in the microwave for what, like a minute?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, almost a minute and a half on lower power level. And then we're gonna just add it. And what they had said before is to just add as much to kind of moisten it all up. But I mean, we kind of had it figured out before, and Roger didn't want to have too much tallow on it, and he said the last batch was fine the way it was. Yep. Grease-wise.
And then you just mix it together till it's pliable.
Yeah.
And all the dried meat is
moist.
Moist, yeah.
So it's gonna take a minute to
Yep.
incorporate it, and then once it's all moist, we're gonna spread it on these prep sheets.
So I'll come over this way.
Lined with paper.
Then we put it on these sheets. What, they're about an inch, about an inch thick.
Or smaller sheets.
Put it on here, and then we put it in the refrigerator overnight.
Yes. Well, actually, before we put it in the fridge, Roger really likes these salt flakes. We had made a batch where we put on one side some flakes, and he really enjoyed that. So
well, the salt helps me for on the trail anyway, because I'm replacing salt, and it helped with the taste, I thought. So you can put and I might have said this already, so you can put cranberries in here, strawberries, a lot of different dried fruit you can add in there for taste. I know Odie, said he put some honey in his to add, but for me, I can't do that on my low carb diet, and so honey's out. So it, for me, just the meat and the salt, and then we just put a little bit of the dried blueberries in there, which aren't the best for me, but it's so little for the amount that it's not too bad. So yeah, so we'll.
I think it's soaked enough.
And we just kind of spread it out all the way around. And all right, so once we had the pan done and all the pemmican in pretty much about the same level all the way across, then we put the salt flakes on top, and from here this goes in the refrigerator overnight, and tomorrow we'll cut it up. All right, so we took it out of the fridge after night. We're cutting, and what we're trying to do is get an 8-ounce bar out of this.
We shall see how much we're off.
Without killing ourselves.
Oh, that's optional. Okay.
There we go. So now we got 1 bar.
And we're short.
So that's 3.7 ounces. That's fine.
So we need 4 ounces, so because you're gonna eat 2 of them.
I work with 4 ounces, but that's fine. I mean, it'll be fine. So put the other one on top. I'm just curious. 3.7,
so that's more 4.
All right, so that's about a 4-ounce bar. So this would be my morning, and that would be my afternoon, and that's 1 day.
So if we continue that thought process.
See, this is what pemmican looks like. All right, so we have this butcher paper that we use to wrap up the pemmican. So she cut 1 in half.
Need to make it less paper. But you're also going to use it to start a fire up.
Yeah, probably. All right, there we go. So we got, that's 4 ounces, right?
Yep, a little over 4. I mean,
Yep.
we have to figure
4
out
ounces, and this would be, I do 2 snacks a day. This would be my 1 snack. And again, 4 ounces is 293 calories. I think 1 total gram of carb. Not even a net gram, 1 total
No,
gram.
it's double because it was 2 point.
Oh, yeah, no.
A 4-ounce bar is,
Yes,
is
I'm sorry.
580.
Take that all back. Yeah, this is 580 calories. So that'll be about a little over 1,100 calories a day just in pemmican. Yeah, so that's how we do pemmican. Hope you like it. That's just our way of doing it. There's probably a million ways to do it ever since the Indians started doing it back in the prairies, and well, whatever. But I wanted to share how we make pemmican. Yes?
Yes.
All right. If you like what you see, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and stay tuned. We're getting ready to start the AT in 18 days.